NathanIvy.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. And far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised dogs, closed fish, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Top squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlative, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info about it? AM. John be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy. So superlative like a bag of Grippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati red tag. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Nate Ivy in the air chair. I flow, therefore I am. Sorry about the late start here this morning as I'm getting set up over on the west side at a little office/studio space that I'm renting. And I just want to make sure that all of our connections were looking good. I'm going to actually go live and live stream the entire show this morning. And numerous things that I think we should discuss. Number one, are you excited for this impeachment hearing? Yesterday, it was historic. Donald Trump became one of only a handful of individuals to ever have been impeached. And now it's official. Perhaps you watched or you listened to it. It was carried by NPR. And man, here we go. Is this a smart course of action for the Democrat Party? How will this end when it goes to the U.S. Senate, where the Republicans have a majority? Like, do you really expect the Republicans to turn on Donald Trump because it's the right thing to do? Now, my daughter has been following it, and over the last couple of days, she was asking me questions. I answered them. And she said, well, if he did the crime, why won't he be impeached by the U.S. Senate? And then I had to try to explain to her the history of politics, the Democrats, Republicans. Interesting. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Harnessing the power of the internet. My name is Nathan Ivy. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day. And again, sorry about the late start. Good morning. Come on in. We'll get started here. So I want to get your thoughts about that. Also, poverty is a big issue in Cincinnati. It's a big issue, even though there's a renaissance. We have too many people living in what the federal government would define as near or below the poverty guidelines. In my opinion, my humble opinion, and
And as you can tell, I'm still a bit under the weather. Something's going around. We got a notification today at my son's daycare as we dropped him off this morning that there's a virus that's going through his daycare center. And there's a virus going through everywhere. Everybody's sick or has been sick. So take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Good morning to you. Last night, we were scheduled to do another taping of the Cutting Through the BS podcast, but illness hit one of the families of one of the hosts, and we decided that, it's a duo. And so look for that in the next couple of weeks. Now, next week is going to be Christmas. Like, Christmas is, I'm just so out of touch with Christmas. I mean, as you got older and you realize what the hell we were talking about, it's like, And then Christmas is for kids, right? Let's be honest here. As a grown person who's running around here, maybe that's you. Oh, you really get big for Christmas? Okay, I'm not going to ish on it. Go ahead and do your thing. But we typically record on Wednesdays. Now, next Wednesday is Christmas. So I'll talk with the crew and see what they want to do. Maybe they want to do something earlier or something next week. But as of right now, you can look for another Cutting Through the BS podcast in the next couple of weeks. Approximately 2 weeks from today is January 2nd. So 2 weeks from yesterday will be January the 1st, New Year's Eve day. So maybe not. Maybe not on that day. I don't know. I'll talk with the crew and I'll let you know. Good morning. Here is my number because we can take phone calls, 513-873-7134. This is a daily digital show, and we broadcast live from the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, city of my birth, powered by Sin Digital Media. And it's a little startup media company, Black-owned, by the way, and they produce podcasts for the people. Check out a podcast from the NAACP. Donnie B, as a matter of fact, is scheduled to speak at 12:30 p.m., that's tomorrow, to Joe Gilbert. And Joe Gilbert is a filmmaker and author and very controversial. Have you ever heard of something called the Trayvon Martin hoax? He created it. And so she'll get to the bottom of that. Should be very interesting conversation. You can check it out or watch the flow tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. See what is so that I want to talk about the poverty issue that is still a problem here in the city of Cincinnati. I want to talk about Donald Trump just a little bit. And it was very dramatic. I yield my time now. Understand what Sister V was saying. Yeah. I yield my time. Very interesting. Now it's also being reported that Councilman Jeff Pastor, a.k.a. and very affectionately to us, Pastor X, has proposed renaming McMicken Avenue. And that was brought up, I think, by somebody in a chop shop the other day. Looks like great minds think alike. And City Councilman Jeff Pastor says that, in light of UC removing McMicken from the College of Arts and Sciences, I'm asking our administration to explore to change our street names as well. Let me go ahead and like what he just posted on Twitter, because I agree with you, Mr. Council member. I'm going to go with Pastor X. I agree with you, Pastor X. Now, Charles McMicken was a slave owner. And before he died, he bequeathed $1 million worth of land. And that's the land that the University of Cincinnati was built upon. And so not only did the Arts and Sciences, which is one of the colleges, when you go to college, you may take your degree program out of numerous colleges at UC. I don't know all of them right now, but they have numerous colleges, right? So when I went to the University of Cincinnati and graduated with my degree, it was from the University of Arts and Sciences. I remember the very first day as a freshman, I had to go to McMicken. And that was McMicken Hall. That's where, at that point, Arts and Sciences and all the nerve and all, that was like the nerve center for Arts and Sciences. And it remained that way for a long time. And I remember being made aware of it by other black students when I was at the University of Cincinnati. Because there's always a so-called radical element. You would call it a woke element today. There was always a woke element. And I remember those folks were the ones who would like pass out literature. And I don't know how I became aware of it, but I just remember being aware of it. I don't remember who first told me. I think it was just some brothers, sisters, whoever, hanging out at TUC one day. You say, hey, did you know that Charles McMicken was a slave owner? Really? But what are you supposed to do? You're 19 years old. You're a freshman. We're supposed to leave? I'm trying to get these degrees, yo. I'm trying to get this knowledge, get this paper. I think that, I want to say this again. If the University of Cincinnati is so far behind when it comes to removing the name of Charles McMicken from the College of Arts and Sciences, because to be real with you, this ain't no damn rocket science. This is easy. This is easy. This should have been done. My question is, what else are they behind on? What else in terms of making sure that the University of Cincinnati has the right kind of culture for non-white students? What are they doing? I say that Charles McMicken his name should be removed from any record, and they should distance themselves as much as possible. But think about it. Charles McMicken said that he was going to bequeath it, the land, so that good white boys and girls could get an education. He did not mean for my black ass to go to the University of Cincinnati and get degrees. He didn't expect that. He couldn't foresee that. Is that come up in and of itself? Or should something more be done? I think they should remove him from all record. That's what I say. I 100% agree with Jeff Pastor. In fact, City Council should put some folks together. They got a lot of smart people that work for the city. And they should do research to research the names of every single statue, building, city, so we understand, because we know how this country is. This country embraced your slave owners. They loved slave owners back in the day, loved you. And a lot of these people were rich, so when they passed away, you know what I'm saying, they did a lot of so-called philanthropic work. Yeah. Oh, you believe you're a slave owner and you believe in philanthropy. Oh, that's not a contradiction. I think you should do a study to make sure there are no cities in greater Cincinnati, wherever they have the purview and responsibility, and do the research to make sure. And I think they should be replaced by diverse, culturally significant people, right, from this area, with an emphasis on the diverse. You know what I'm saying? Because, think about it. What would be better than removing the name of Charles McMicken, replacing him with the name of a significant black man or black woman? That's what needs to happen. Don't just take his name off. Replace that mofo. We're not only going to erase you, we're going to embrace and celebrate somebody else with your slave-owning ass. And I hope you burn in hell, Charles McMicken. Wherever you are, I hope your spirit is burning in hell right now for the evil you caused. That's what I hope. The University of Cincinnati should put out a statement that reads just that. We disavow you and we hope you burn in hell. Well, most certainly he is with all the other slave owners that did philanthropy. Yeah, I was a slave owner, but I bequeathed $1 million worth of land so good white boys and girls could get an education. I like this, man. Bravo to Jeff Pastor. I told you Jeff Pastor's going to do big things. I firmly believe it more and more. I firmly believe that. He is a black male Republican. And what do you think? Am I going too hard? What do you think? Are we going too far? Why we got to get rid of y'all? Black folks too sensitive. What you mean? Got to take these names down? What we going to do? Through every street, we going to find out who was a racist, slave-owning, evildoer? Yes, that's what I say. That's what I say. But what do you think? Have you seen this? You should. If you haven't already. Let me post a link for you inside the Chop Shop. You might want to follow along, with the show. The hell is he talking about? Well, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, bravo. I'm not excited about this whole impeachment thing. I'll be honest with you. I'm like, snooze. I'm going to watch it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to follow it. But I'm just not all super into it like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. Do I think that Donald Trump should be impeached? Yeah, I do. I'm one of those people in America who, if you ask me in a poll question, I'm going to say, yeah, go ahead, impeach the MFer. But we know where this ends. It ends with the largely white male, presence from the Republican side of the aisle that dominate the U.S. Senate. And they're not going to impeach this guy, Donald Trump. I don't see it. Now, maybe there's some bombshell information that comes out within the next few days. We'll see, but it was a whole lot of ceremony yesterday, a lot of politics. I listened to quite a bit of it. Listened to and watched quite a bit of it. After a while, it got old because you knew what they were going to say. You know, when there was a Democrat, they were going to make some moral reason as to why he should. There was only one member of the House of Representatives that did anything different. There's only one. Almost everybody else did exactly what was expected. And that was Tulsi Gabbard. You know, she just got to be different. She just got to be different. She got to be the lone wolf. Oh, you got to be the lone wolf out there. And what's the point of all of this? So she voted present. Tulsi Gabbard voted present. Present? The fuck does that mean, present? And is she dyeing her hair? Is her hair really white and she's dyeing it black? Or is she dyeing in that little white streak there? Which isn't bad. Tulsi Gabbard is the congresswoman from Hawaii, and she's currently seeking the Democrat presidential nomination, and she voted present yesterday on both of the articles of impeachment against Donald Trump, making her the only member of the chamber not to vote yes or no. Is somebody looking for attention? This chick always looking for attention. What's wrong with her? You know what I'm saying? Present. This ain't homeroom. This ain't homeroom, Tulsi. What you mean present? Present. We know you present because we can see you, Tulsi. This isn't attendance. Do you vote to impeach this MFer for the two articles of impeachment? Yes or no? Present. That's next week. Drop off the presents next week for Christmas. Today, we need an answer. I'm just so pissed. So it was a little bit of drama yesterday, and then everybody's been discussing it ever since then. I just, because I feel like I know where the outcome goes, I don't want to get caught up with all of this. I'm not trying to get caught up with the wave of impeachment. I mean, and again, I had to explain this to my daughter. Impeachment, Donald Trump has now been officially impeached. You can be impeached and not removed. Bill Clinton, impeached but not removed. What happened? Got to the Senate, and what happened with Bill Clinton? Same thing is going to happen here. Now, did that hurt Bill Clinton? Yeah, it did. It hurt the Democrats. It hurt Al Gore. I mean, the Republicans made such a big deal that Bill Clinton lied about having a girlfriend and having sex with her in the Oval Office, that when Al Gore ran for president, he didn't run on their record. He out there talking about climate. Way before people was really hip to that kind of thing. So will the same thing happen with Donald Trump? Well, I bet the Democrat leadership hopes so. How many people buy the argument that the Democrats just had to do this? If they don't check him now, next week, she's going to be doing whatever he wants to do. He's going to do whatever he wants to do. The Cincinnati Inquirer, I want to talk about local issues as well. The Cincinnati Inquirer did an investigation into traffic stops in black neighborhoods, which is so ironic because I was having a conversation about that recently. And what they found are some, shall we say, disparities. Can you say disparities? Try it. Black drivers are also much more likely to be pulled over than whites, according to a review of 315,981 stops from 2009 to 2017 in Cincinnati. So I want to post a link. You can check this out. Black and white areas police differently. Are black and white areas policed differently? I put that out there rhetorically. See here. Breaking down arrests by race. In Ohio's 3 largest cities, blacks made up the majority of those arrested in incidents stemming from stops. Okay, in Cleveland, arrest of people's ticketed. In Cleveland, 70% of the people who were arrested after being ticketed were black. In Columbus, 59% of those individuals are black. What do you think the numbers are here in Cincinnati per this Cincinnati Enquirer analysis? Well, the number is 75% I'm looking at right here. I'm going to post this for you as well so you can check it out and follow along. I want to talk about that. I'd like to, break it down a little bit and get your thoughts and in particular your experiences. What do you think about Tulsi Gabbard casting the lone present vote? I mean, pick a side. You can't be playing both sides of the fence on certain things. You know what I'm saying? You can't straddle the fence on everything. You can't straddle the fence. People want you to take a stand. Take a strong stance and just stand by it. So this is great. I hope the city does just that. Let me see here. If they're taking a step in what seems to be the right direction, I think it's only natural for the city to follow suit. He makes a great point. Jeff Pastor makes an excellent point there. I agree 100% that now that the University of Cincinnati is taking its first step, now the city, right, the people that we elected for city council members, they should pick up on this. I think it's part of nothing ever is going to balance the scales as to what happened. The Holocaust of African slaves. There's nothing that ever is going to balance that out. But at the very least, can we stop revering and celebrating slave owners? Because that's a tacit endorsement and celebration of Charles McMicken over the years. And as I read yesterday, and I read more after yesterday's show, they put together, not they, but the University of Cincinnati put together a task force. And again, we talked about this early in the year when it was announced. And some of the conclusions and bullet points coming out was spectacular. They was on point. Somebody knows what they're talking about. So they must have some black students and some people that's not afraid to speak their mind at the table. You know what I'm saying? Because what they said is that the fact that, and I'm going to paraphrase here very loosely because they said it much more eloquently than I will right now, but essentially the conclusion was this task force that ultimately recommended to get rid of Charles McMicken's name, evil slave owner, off of arts and sciences. But as I understand, there's still other buildings that his name is going to be on. They need to sandblast his name the F off of all those buildings. That's the least you can do. And stop celebrating these evildoers. But to paraphrase, essentially what they said is that the University of Cincinnati's, how should I put this, tone deaf, blind spot, however you want to put it, to put it politely, as it related to continuing to keep Charles McMicken's name on the building, naming it the Arts and Sciences Building, or the name of the Arts and Sciences Building, was nothing more than a reflection of what was going on in terms of black students, how they were treated, and the overall mood on the university. And I 100% agree with that. 100%. Now, it's been a while since I was a student there, but yeah, 100%. In a multitude of ways. Like I said, I talked to some students a few years ago. They were having some issues and trying to get some shit done up there at the University of Cincinnati. Brothers came on. They talked about it. And essentially it was, things like, dealing with racial harassment, these microaggressions. They called the university police. Nothing really happens. Some of that black wow on the campus kind of stuff was happening as well. Now, all of this was fueled, I think, by local media's paranoia, right? Because you had students up there that were getting robbed. And there was a time when it was big. Remember when Santa Ono, he wrote a letter to the judges essentially saying that if a University of Cincinnati student was assaulted, they should throw the book at him. I remember I had a problem with that because I'm like, wait a minute. Why are they more important? That's elitism. You know what I'm saying? Some of these students don't even live, they ain't even from Cincinnati. But because they're a University of Cincinnati students, hands off. I mean, I'm not for crime, but I'm also for equal protection under the law. Damn, can I get an amen on that? So I set the table a bit, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's much more to discuss, actually, and I want to talk about as much as we can this morning, but I have to move into a break. We'll be right back. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. I'm live, I'm local, and I'm vocal. Powered by Sin Digital Media, a new urban voice in Cincinnati, and we'll be right back.
Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. I am pleased to announce the free Train the Trainer Masterclass coming to Cincinnati on Thursday, December the 19th, sponsored by Walker Funeral Home and Lamar. The Masterclass will train people just like you, as well as parents, teachers, physicians, youth workers, nurses, and mentors on how to develop better skills to save. I am Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. I am pleased to announce the free Train the Trainer Masterclass coming to Cincinnati on Thursday, December the 19th, sponsored by Walker Funeral Home and Lamar. The Masterclass will train people just like you, as well as parents, teachers, physicians, youth workers, nurses, and mentors on how to develop better skills to save our kids from pipeline to prison, bullying, reduce gun violence, homicides, suicides, domestic violence, and drug abuse. The Train the Trainer Masterclass, 5 p.m. doors open with a business connection. 6 to 7 p.m. free dinner reception. 7 p.m. Train the Trainer Masterclass. Free Comfsy lotion for everyone. Renew Community Church, 2129 West North Bend Road in College Hill. Register at the door December the 19th or sign up for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass at SundayConnectCircle.org. That's SundayConnectCircle.org. Get your free Train the Trainer Masterclass flyer in the Cincinnati Herald.
With the Bloomberg Urban Report. With the Bloomberg Urban Report, I'm Donna Wilson.
Right now in your life that no matter how hard you work on that struggle, it just never seems to go away. A health challenge, a mental challenge, a financial or relationship struggle. Did you know that 100% of your current struggles are due to what negatively
with the
happened
Bloomberg
to you
Urban
from birth
Report.
to 7 years of age? Did you know that there is something that you could do about this struggle? Let us help you rewrite your life, along with 200 other leaders that I plan to train in this life-changing masterclass. Sign up today for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass, being held on Thursday, December the 19th at Renew Community Church. Food and refreshments will be served. Go to SundayConnectCircle.org and sign up for free. That's SundayConnectCircle.org and sign up for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off at school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. I think I realized that those levels for that last commercial, that Windburn piece, was a little bit low, so you'll probably hear that again later in the show. Hey, good morning, everybody. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Good morning to you, Ashley. Pamela writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Today is the 3rd anniversary of my favorite Nathan Ivey story, Black Ice on Black Man Crime. That's funny. Man, that was a terrible time. I mean, to this day, I still have pain. My hip will never be the same. Now I'm older. You don't heal the same when you're older. But, it was 3 years ago. I'm walking outside, and it was just like one of those Cincinnati days when you get a flash freeze, it rains, and it turns into ice. Man, before I knew, listen, it almost killed me. Not joking. Knocked the wind out of me. I laid there for a while on the cold. I mean, those concrete steps felt like shark's teeth. And it was something straight out of a cartoon, man. Like my feet, whip, and it was it. That was it. I was holding on to the railing for dear life. It's true. The black ice got me. I thought I had broken my hip, literally. Had to go to the doctor, a hip specialist, the whole 9 yards. It's rehab. They call it physical therapy. Sharp writes, good morning, Thursday Choppers. He writes, good Thursday Choppers. I'm projecting morning onto there. Mazone writes, good morning. Maybe that's what it was. Hey, good morning to both of you brothers. Jimmy two times writes, good morning, Choppers. I said, good morning, Choppers. Some Choppers are Donnies. I ain't going out like Lefty. Keep trying to trash the alt middle, you gonna end up in the hefty. It's good to know. Briar Flo writes, Captain's Log, December 19th, 2019. Good morning, Vietnam. Sorry, y'all. That movie was on TV last night. All right, let's get this out the way. Trump was impeached. Boom. Now, on to more serious matters. Transgender couple has a baby girl. Get this, a woman who identifies as a man gets pregnant and gives birth. Let that sink in for a second. Men, I'm talking to the ones who were born that way. Show of hands. Who has given birth? Question mark. Let me count. That's what I thought. 0. The normalization of this mental disorder has to stop. Enough is enough. This movement is insidious, and soon you will see the decriminalization of pedophilia. Mark my words. You heard it here first. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot. The couple was black. But that's okay, Negroes. Gay is the new black. Right? Question mark. It was more like, right? Question mark. Black liberals are something else. I'm gone, Nathan. Got to continue going where no man has gone before. Inside the Negro mind. It's the final frontier, baby. Cue my theme music. Sulu, set the course. Warp Factor 4. Anyway, good morning. Alt middle Ayatollah, stand up. We got to give them 4 ABs for that now. Great flows. CG Dub writes, good morning, Choppers, TGIT. Oh, it is Thursday. Oh, my God, Thursdays are great. It's so close to the damn weekend. Are you going out tonight? You should. Kelly writes, good morning. Ray writes, grand risings all. Kermir writes, gracious morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Mason Marler writes, morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Hashtag the peach has been impeached. Hashtag orange hawk down. Hashtag Ukraine in the membrane. Hashtag first day of school feeling. Hashtag Obama smart. ABs are appropriate. Deborah writes, good morning, Nathan and Choppers. Good morning, Nathan and Choppers. Good morning to you, Deborah. Good morning to you, Deborah. Jimmy writes, Trump has been impeached. Even if he gets removed, you are still black and Washington hates you. I said Washington hates you. I see where we're going today. Tanika writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. It's my Friday and last day at my job. New job in the new year for me. Really? That's always exciting. What? You got the new job in the new year? That's cool. So basically, pardon me, I'm readjusting my microphone here. I know it's not the most pleasant thing. There it is. I apologize. Okay, so you got a new job coming in, huh? That is dope. Enjoy. Got 2 weeks off, leaving I'm out of here. Moving on to something now. I like it. Jimmy Two Times writes, Jeff Pastor heard Fame's call. Pastor heard Fame's call. You might be right about that. I don't know. I don't know if Jeff Pastor is listening or not, or just great minds think alike. Jeff Pastor is trying to urge the city of Cincinnati to remove Charles McMicken's name from all of the streets. Now, is that the biggest thing in Cincinnati? No. But should it be done? Yeah, it's something that should have been done a long time ago. I mean, listen, Cincinnati, either you are going to embrace these evil, racist slave owners, and we just say evil slave owners, or you're not. Which is it? Make a decision. Get the hell off the fence. Too many people on the fence. Mason Marler writes, Fathead Street sign? Okay. Brenda writes, Happy Thursday. Angela writes, salutations. She writes, renaming is largely a useless symbolic gesture. If folks are too scared to take down the system of racism, white supremacy. She writes, we get so excited over simple almost 8 more minutes. Karamir writes, what happened to the Gang of Five in trouble again? They want to bring criminal charges for hiding public business. That's crazy. Really? I didn't see that. Where is that at? Is that here locally? Is that something that's new? Oh, I see it here. Gang of Five could face criminal charges for hiding public business. Oh, boy. Here we go again. The drama isn't over for 5 Cincinnati City Council members accused of conducting public business in private last year. Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Dieters, yet another reason why Joe Dieters must go. Yet another reason. Hold on one second, Choppers. All right. Yet another reason why Joe Dieters must go. Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Dieters told WLWT exclusively that the state auditor is expected to make a referral for a criminal prosecution. That means the self-proclaimed Gang of Five. I mean, number one, it wasn't self-proclaimed. Who wrote this article? Helena, but something. I can't pronounce her last name fast enough. What it sits here? Why is my mother calling me? My mother calling me. I'm on the air, Ma. My mother just called me. Listen, before we get deeper into the show, I want to remind you that the Cincinnati Police Department has open registration going on right now. If you've ever considered a career in law enforcement, and listen, I think law enforcement is an admirable profession. We need good people, good sound mind, people that want to go into that profession for the right thing. And in particular, as an African-American in Cincinnati, I think that we need men and women, African-American men and women who live in the Cincinnati area to consider a career in law enforcement. Let me post a link for you before we get into the Gang of Five stuff and start talking about some of the other things that will most certainly be on your mind now that it's been brought up. And I want to post this link for you. Please share this with whomever you think might be interested. You can follow the link and start a career in law enforcement. Today, we'll be talking about some law enforcement from the different side issues later today. I want to make sure that I get that out there. And hold on, I want to make sure I post this for you. I don't want to get too far away. There it is. And listen, if you follow that link, not only will it take you to there's a link inside the link, as most cases are in the internet world, in the digital world, but there's a link if you follow that link, it'll take you to a link that will take you directly to the city's website where you can directly get information and apply. If you follow that link, you'll find information about everything you need. You know, the psychological evaluation, the physical evaluation, FAQs as to why most recruits don't make it. Okay. The bare bones in terms of what you need to do. You need to be at least 21 years of age. You need to have a valid license, right? And you need to be able to be work eligible within the United States. And you need to be 21 by the time of the completion of the 28-week academy. Now, if that sounds like you, please follow that link and do what you got to do. All right? We need people to represent our community. right, from a law enforcement perspective, in my opinion, who are from the community. I think it makes a difference. Think about it and do what you are inclined to do. Please share that. It's very vital. Okay, back to this. Gang of Five could face criminal charges for hiding public business. Let me stop right here. This whole Gang of Five thing was politically motivated by the friends of Christopher Smitherman and this is one of my hot thoughts on it, to not only ensnare some of these other Democrats, but I think it was really about P.G. Sittenfeld and the fact that a lot of people said that he was running for mayor. And we already know that Mr. Smitherman has already been announced candidate. I've heard rumors that he might not, but to this point, it is what it is. I do think that transparency is important, and you got to follow the rules. And this seems like a self-inflicted wound to me. Like, it never had to go down like that. But it is what it is. And, you know, you got certain rules and you're in a public position. That's what it is. It's the process. And Brian Shrive and his group was behind this. And now Joe Dieters, who is a Republican. Is the state auditor a Republican? Yes, he is. So I want to give you the backstory on this and give you my perspective. Okay, so Hamilton County prosecutor told WLWT exclusively. Why WLWT? That the state auditor is expected to make a referral for criminal prosecution, which means that the self-proclaimed Gang of Five, and I'm reading directly from the article here, and the controversial text messages will be investigated by a grand jury led by a prosecutor with no ties to local government. Yeah. The city agreed to pay more than $100,000 to settle the lawsuit. Do you remember back in March of this year when you had the courtroom scene, you had the members of the city council there and he was letting them know he was going on and on about how bad it was? Remember that? Robert Ruhlman? He even said that the council members should resign. Now, you know, the local Republican Party would like nothing more to see Wendell Young walk out the door. You know what I'm saying? The local establishment would like nothing more to see Wendell Young walk out the door. How dare he try to get more money for Avondale? How dare he? How dare he insinuate that Kyle Plush's family was going to sue the city, which, by the way, what happened? How dare he? Who does he think he is? Right? How dare he? Tamaya Denard. They would like nothing more than to see Tamaya Denard to be sullied, to have a reputation, black marked. They like nothing more than that. Down there talking about who's on the board. Don't white-splain to me. Talking about we need to hold developers to a higher standard. Wait a minute, you messing with the money. We've already seen a reaction from the business community. The reaction from the business community, including FC Cincinnati, and I still wonder, are they good neighbors? Are they good corporate neighbors? Or are they just greedy-ass, self-interested, narcissistic individuals who want to make money and they want to be, you know, these franchise owners more than they care about the community? I don't know. You tell me. Chris, I mean, and again, what's the best way to take out a candidate? To sully their name before they become a candidate. You know what I'm saying? I wonder how much of this is all about mayoral election year politics. But again, this is the game. You hear me refer to it something like this is the game of politics. That's how it goes. Let me see. Dieter said it's important people know how government works. Really? It's important, huh? Now he cares about people knowing how government works. Okay. Quote, this is not a joke. This is not a game. You need to have transparency in what's going on. He writes, it's almost, no, not writes, but here's a quote attributed to Joe Dieters. All these quotes are attributed to Joe Dieters, Hamilton County prosecutor, white male Republican. It's almost like election law 101, that you don't do this kind of stuff. And, I mean, on some levels, like I said, I would agree. This whole text message thing never really should have been a thing, quite honestly. But now it is. And remember, this was a violation of Ohio's sunshine laws. And the way it works is that, you know, the members of city council are not supposed to get together and talk about council business outside of the public. Like when you see them conversing, like if you watch city cable and issues come up, that's supposed to be sort of like the only time they're talking about it amongst their colleagues. And if you get a majority of city council together, right? Like if it's just one or two, that's okay. But if you get what's called a majority or quorum, that's the problem. Because now you got a majority of people outside the public who are making decisions that are impact the public. That's the crux of it. That's the crux of it. And again, my thing was, okay, so these election laws were put in place, when? In the 80s or 90s? 70s? That's way before text messaging. That's way before it was even created. Before the internet. Is that the same? So apparently it is to this point. And that's going to be interesting. Just in time for the upcoming mayoral elections. Just in time for the re-election of city council. Just on time. Just on time. Very interesting. But what do you think? Karamia writes, thank you for the vine on that, Karamia. Mason Marler writes, gotta give Pastor X credit. Not sure Alex trying to fool you slept well last night because now he has to answer questions about his black Republican mentor. I'm just saying. Is that right? Mason Marler writes, I stayed up to watch all the impeachment drama. I have all the updated information you need. But where's the drama then? What was the drama like? I didn't see. The drama was Tulsi Gabbard saying present, the only member of Congress. She just had to be different. She just had to do something different. Angela writes, meanwhile, people are still homeless and hungry, but at least you're living under a bridge and panhandling on streets named after upstanding niggers. Well, I just see those as two different issues. Two different issues. But essentially, you would be correct. Tiffany writes, good morning. Tanika writes, Tulsi Gabbard totally rubs me the wrong way. I can see that. Mason Marler writes, education is undefeated. Is that right? Tulsi Gabbard. I also want to talk about, speaking of Tulsi, I want to talk about Tulsa. And what was recently, or at least what's being reported as to what was recently found in Tulsa. And, Tulsa, that's in Oklahoma. Tulsa was one of, not the only, because history and, they try to tell you like, oh, it only happened in Tulsa. Man, it was called the Red Summer. White folks lost their damn minds in this country and got violent with minorities all over the country. Blacks, Asians. If you were non-white, you was going to get it. What was it, 1999? During the Red Summer? I'm sorry, 1919? You was going to get it. And you ever heard of Black Wall Street? Of course you have. Well, now it's been reported that the possible mass grave from 1921 and the Tulsa race riot, again, in 1919, the Red Summer, 21, just a few years later, a lot of this had to do with legislation that was being put in place and just a resentment from white folks that black folks was separate and was completely happy. Out here making your own economies and Black Wall Street. We're going to show you. And they say that whole thing, the race massacre, it wasn't a damn riot. It was a race massacre. Black men, women, and children, non-white people, was put to death. And then they gathered up all the remains and dumped their bodies in unmarked mass graves. For the last 100 years, they claim they've been looking for them. But I read last year that they have a new white Republican mayor, and he was committed to trying to find the mass graves. It looks like archaeologists are saying this week, within the last 2 days, that they may have found some of the sites that hold mass graves from the Black Wall Street massacre. Think about that. Massacre because they dared to start a business. Massacre because they dared to be successful. And that's why I say, if you black and mad in America, you mad about racism, go be successful. Go build your family up. Go build your economics up. Go build your business up. That's all you got to do. Do what your ancestors weren't allowed to do. That's it. Well, that's not it, but that's one of the things you can do. It's a damn shame. And, this is an indication of how art can illuminate things in the real world. Because whether you know it or not, there is a series out there that is, what is this on? Is it on HBO or something like that? I'm not even sure what it's on. Yeah, it was based off comic books. You know where I'm going with this? Yeah, shout out to Regina King. She was a star of this series. And the very first episode in this series, as it opens, the whole series opens, it opens with the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. No damn riots. It all started because a white woman was in an elevator with a black man. She was the elevator girl, meaning that she would press the button for you and get you to your appropriate floor. She might even have some chewing gum. You could buy something like that. And she ends up running out. She ends up running out of the elevator. As the history goes, no one knows why. And apparently she alleged that he did something to her. And that's what historians say. That's one of the things that sparked off the race massacre. Now, what it really was white resentment. Look at them over there. Oh, you over here living like white folks. We can't have that. You over here, you getting too uppity. Your business is competing with my business. Oh, we can't have that. Well, we can't have that. You got to go. That's exactly what they did. Massacred these men, women, and children, and then dumped their bodies in a mass grave. Yeah, it's 1921. Motherfuckers run around telling us, oh, Juneteenth. It's 1921. It was in the 19th century, or what they call the 20th century. Because right now we're in the 21st century. Yeah, the 19th century, nah. Or something like that. Something like that. Impeach these nuts. Who posted this? Broadway posted this. Hey, we got John from Princeton, New Jersey on the line. Let's talk to him. Yo, John, hold on one second, man. I'll bring you straight on. Yeah, John's on the line. So archaeologists are saying that they think they found one of the mass graves. There might be multiple mass graves, but they think they found one of them. Yeah. Absolutely. Tulsi will announce she switched to being a Republican soon. Tulsi still all in her feelings about her short beef with Hillary. So she is being petty. Is that right? Mason Marler writes, he's already impeached, Karamia. A narcissist like Donald Trump is having a bad day knowing he will go down in American history as only the third man to be impeached. He might. Well, one thing I can say is that Obama wasn't impeached. You know, if the Republicans could have found anything in Obama, they would have impeached him, but they had nothing. Let me see. Angela writes, the racist system will still kick black folks' ass. The end. Is that right? So what should we do? Just roll over? Mason Marler writes, if giving up is your answer, you can't roll on my team. Don't have time for busters and bustettes. I guess that would be the female version of Buster. Buzone writes, are any black Democrats concerned that there isn't any diversity in the pool of presidential candidates? The debate tonight is all white. That just proves my point that black folks will go hard for white Democrats and side-eye black Democrats. Well, I mean, you only had what? You had, how many people of color did you really have in the race from the jump? You got Cory Booker and you had Kamala Harris. Now, the problem with it is that this isn't necessarily a reflection of black folks. Hey, John, call me back, man. Call me back. I'm in a flow. All right, this isn't a reflection of black folks. Like, this is a reflection of white voters. You know what I'm saying? This is a reflection of white voters primarily, in my opinion, not black voters. And here's what I mean, because in order to get, it's like a month-by-month kind of thing where the month previously, if you want to get on television and be a part of the debates, then you've got to get so many, donations. And it's not an amount of money. You got to get so many individual donations, right, month to month in order to qualify to be a part of the Democrats' debates. And if people supported Cory Booker, then they should support him. They should support him with a donation. And that'll help him get on TV. Kamala Harris, she just never, for a lot of reasons that smarter people than me have already put out there, she never really connected with the electorate. You know what I'm saying? They never really connected together. Mason Marler writes, thank God for those black students. They could have just given up and said, oh, well, the white man will always be on my back on some sucker-ish, but they didn't. They kept the pressure up. Education is undefeated. Tracy writes, I'm looking for dog whistles today. Folks waiting on a word from their leader. That's all that matters today for me. Angela writes to Ray, symbolic. Some folks enjoy that type of nothingness. I'm not sure. I don't think that if they take the name, I don't think matter of fact, to me, removing Charles McMicken's name is not symbolic. Symbolism is when you have no action, right? It's just, no. I think it's significant. I think it's very significant because, it's a recognition that he was an evildoer and he should no longer be celebrated. Now, I think they should replace Charles McMicken's name with a prominent African-American from the Cincinnati area, or maybe, an alum or somebody who's donated a lot of money, but they have to be African-American. They have to be African-American. So I don't know. But what do you think? Mason Marler writes, good morning, Clue. He writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. You see, you either have what it takes or you don't. Don't give me ish. I'll earn my way to the top like Barack. Angela writes, black folks will miss them off somewhere, tossing black back shots and blazing, I think she means blazing marijuana. Let me see. When we allow the absurd to become commonplace in our discourse, we devalue legitimate facts and education to become diluted by foolishness. Hashtag education is undefeated. Oh, is that right? Pat writes, good morning. Mr. Marler writes, morning, Pat. Hold on 1 second here. Hold on, I'm sending my message to somebody, a potential guest this morning. All right, there it is. Black Rush is in the house. Pat's in the house. She writes, good morning. Jimmy 2 times writes, good morning, brethren. Miss D writes, greetings. Miss D, did you receive that prize? Let me know. Black Russia writes, the self-proclaimed Gang of Five story is making a move on Nathan's list to become number 1. Well, that's the other thing. The media said the self-proclaimed. It was only one person that said that. And that was, what's the brother's name? I was just talking about him. It wasn't, they didn't, I don't believe they all said, hey, I'm in the Gang of Five. That's not what happened. But the media ran with it. Christopher Smitherman ran with it. The friends who like Christopher Smitherman ran with it. Local media ran with it. And they tried to turn it into some big deal. All right, now listen, I got a special guest coming in now. I've been promoting and talking about the Train the Trainer event, and that's coming up later today. All right, Train the Trainer. I've actually got some feedback from some folks who've already been to it. But of course, the man who's putting it on, he'll be training you tonight, is Charlie Winburn, and he's on the line right now. Charlie, welcome to the show.
Hey, Nathan Ivey, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing excellent. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. We got a lot of folks that signed up from your online podcast, man, and I want to just take this opportunity to thank you for your leadership, man, and the great job that you're doing. And Nathan Ivey, I would love to see you and your family tonight. It would be an honor, privilege, and pleasure.
You know what? That just might happen. Not the family, but myself.
Well, that's great. Well, I can tell you this, from 5 to 6 this evening at Renew Community Church, 2129 West North Bend Road, from 5 to 6 is really business to business hour. This is the marketplace opportunity for people to come and have free coffee and enjoy TV and fellowship and meet new people. And then at 6 p.m., Nathan Ivey, we're going to have our dinner. a free dinner reception, plenty food for everyone, and that's from 6 to 6:50. And then at 6:51, we'll start the master class, and that'll go probably to 10 p.m. tonight. We have a huge schedule, Nathan Ivy. It's going to be just tremendous. We got like 9 modules that we're going to be training in tonight. It's pretty much a clinical setting set up in a way where people will learn is really easily understood. There'll be handouts, PowerPoints, videos tonight, a lot of excitement, just a great agenda tonight to help change people's lives.
So who are some of the people who you think would benefit the most from the event tonight?
Actually, clinicians, doctors especially. Many times you go into a doctor's office and they're treating you from a biological standpoint, and many times they don't know what to do, and really they know 9 times out of 10 go to a doctor. They tell you, well, we really don't know. We don't think there's anything wrong with you. So I think we want to show the clinicians and the doctors another side of it, that many of the problems that people have or manifested in their physical life is actually due to their beliefs, their emotions, and stress levels. So we think this can help doctors especially have a better understanding of the patient when they come in the office. So clinicians, social workers, we're going to have Dr. John Thomas is going to be there tonight. He's a clinical psychologist, school teachers, fathers, mothers, mentors, and all kinds of folks are welcome tonight.
Speaking with Charlie Winburn about the trainer event tonight. Now, there's still room for people if they want to register, and they can also register at the door. Is that correct?
Yes, and believe it or not, due to your wonderful work, Nathan Ivy, we are way over capacity. Here's what happened: we set a goal, 125 trainers. And by the way, everyone that's coming tonight is already considered a trainer, a leader. And all we're going to do is train the trainer, train the leader. But we're at capacity. We set a goal of 125, which was really a large master class. Normally, they shouldn't be that big. Normally, they should run about 25 to 50. But we're at right now over 230 people registered. Can you believe that?
Wow. I mean, that's a big jump from when we talked initially, right? That's great. That's what we wanted. That's great. I'm great to hear that, man. I'm very happy to hear that.
Yeah. And Nathan, we're going to make room tonight for everyone. We've got the training auditorium will be at capacity. Then we also set up video, audio, because of course you know Nate. Some people are going to come late, so they'll get they'll have video, audio, but everything will be there. But the good news is they could come. Doors open from 5 to 6 tonight. Renew Community Church, 2129 West North Bend Road, and then at 6 o'clock dinner will be served, and then at 7. Oh, we also have the Honorable Judge Tyrone Yates will be there tonight, and again, Dr. John Thomas and Leslie Thomas. She's a lawyer. She'll be there, so you can see the different. Oh, also, guess who signed up? My dear friend Nathan Ivy is and he needs it so desperately. Lincoln Ware. Can you believe that?
Is that right?
Yeah, Lincoln Ware and Sharon Ware will be there today.
Okay.
And tonight. And so we have. Oh, also we are going to be training 10 of the employees with Ubada. Their staff their staff will be trained tonight. And also we want to thank Nathan, your podcast has just been great. Walker Funeral Home has just been tremendous. Lamar billboards, you may have seen some of the billboards up around. They have been great. And then we have some private donors. And we're going to give out. We have all of the research that we're going to be talking about tonight because it's research-based. All the stuff that we've got here, we have evidence, research evidence to back it up. We have a foundation that paid for everybody to get a 300-page research book. It's called The Biology of Belief. It's one of the most renowned books in matter of fact, in the world, that has provided the research on those who, from 0 to 2, have had negative impacts in their life, 0 to 7 and 0 to 18. So all the research that's going to be given out as a gift to all of the masterclass participants tonight. So it's going to be a great opportunity, and it's just a joy buying time on your show. It's just been tremendous. You actually was the first electronic media that we used, and even before we went on radio. So I just want to thank you, Nathan Ivey, for all that you do. And I like your show because you move people from theory to practice, and it's just a wonderful show that you have.
I appreciate the kind words. I really do. And, well, let's catch up. I'll see you later today. And looking forward to it. There's still room available. I just posted a link inside the Chop Shop, our chat room, so people who are listening right now can register right now and at least get the information. So I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, one final thing, Nathan, that's why people want to get there on time and try to get them a seat and get registered. Everybody will be registered. They get a handband when they come in. A band will be put on. And guess what? We have tonight a manual, a 57-page manual that everybody will get to follow along with us as we do our PowerPoint video. And it's technology there tonight, so it'd just be a great atmosphere to come in for moms, pops, and psychologists, lawyers, you name it, will be there tonight, and some pastors will be there. So we really, again, appreciate everyone tonight, and love to see each and every one of you tonight. If they want to go online, they can go to SundayConnectCircle.org. That's SundayConnectCircle.org. Oh, one of the other things, Nate, Brother Ivy, is I'm going to send you later today. I better send it to you maybe when you get off the air. Maybe we can talk, because we're going to advertise starting tomorrow, and the tape is already cut. We're going to announce tonight that we're going to extend the Train the Trainer to Sunday to finish what we call interactive dialogue for those who want to come Sunday. And we're going to have a big pancake breakfast for them that Sunday morning. We'll have the dialogue for 2 hours, and then right after that, Nathan Ivey will have a light lunch for everybody, and then they can go home. So I have another CD I have another ad that I like to send you, and we like to advertise that all day tomorrow on your show.
All right. Will do. I'll be in touch.
Okay. And thanks a billion.
All right. You're very welcome. That's Charlie Winburn, everybody. And I appreciate the kind words. I'll say it again. We are pioneers. We make history every single day that we do this show, as the only daily digital show focused on what's happening with African Americans that I know of. I'm sure there's others. I'm just not aware of them. And like I said, I'm not a salesman. That's not what I do. You know what I'm saying? You got to know what you do well. But, there's a lot of people I talk to who ask me questions like, how do you monetize it? How do you monetize it? And I try to share as much as possible. But what we do now together will be the backbone for future digital shows that come after this show. Long after I'm dead or I move on to whatever comes next, whether they say it or not, this show has been historic. I mean, we're riding the digital wave. And we're doing it together. So I appreciate the kind words. We do have an audience here. We do connect people. And I've heard that many, many times. I appreciate it. All right, let's move forward. 513-873-7134. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. We're talking about local stuff, national stuff. Primarily, that's what we've been talking about. We've been talking about the impeachment process, which, I don't know. I'm just not all that super into it. I'm not excited at all. But I am curious. Like, the political scientist in me is very curious as to how this will all play out in the modern day era. I'm very curious. Hey, we got John calling back in. Appreciate John for holding off for a bit. Hey, John, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Nathan Ivey and the good people of Cincinnati, as well as the good people around the world. And yes, those choppers. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You know, I wish I had known about this program that they're having. There we have Mr. Charlie Lindbergh on. I probably would have jumped on a plane and came there. But there'll be other events down the line, so I'll try to keep a close eye. You know, before we get to this circus of an impeachment ceremony going on for people that want to follow it, you know, your flows were pretty good this morning talking about various things. But I'm glad you gave educated people globally around the world that listen to your show about the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre, as some people would call it. Historically, for some people that are not aware, but they're not up to speed, I think you covered it pretty good. And I'm a fan of that show on HBO, The Watchmen. Maybe Zorro will have to retire his uniform and switch over to the Watchmen uniform.
Is that right?
You know, I'm glad, you know, as you were talking earlier this week, I looked up the writer of that show. He's an Englishman. I think Bob Moore, I forgot his name, but I looked up his bio, the writer, and he's out of England. And he has a problem. He doesn't talk with HBO or something with a dispute in the contract. That what they done, you know, yes, he created the show many years ago, and HBO took it, but somehow they did something within the agreement or the marketing that it rubs him wrong, something like that. From what I read on some of the internet clips that talked about him, he doesn't talk with them anymore. But he was, you know, the writer is pretty good in delegating and talking about that history. I don't know how much of it that he wrote and how much that HBO, when their writers got it, they twisted it around. You know, most of the time when you get scripts, you know, the original writer that writes it and he sells off the rights, and then when the producers or their writers get it, it always twists into something else. Most writers are not happy with what they see when they see the final product, when they be a TV or a movie. But, you know, the writers or that created the show on HBO did a pretty good job talking about the history. If you can get away from the entertainment and really take your time, and for most people that haven't watched the show, you got to go back from the beginning, because I was getting confused the first two episodes. But if you take your time and rewind and look at all the episodes, you'll get a chance to understand how, number one, the lead character, the sister, I always forget her name all the time, they created her character very, very good. A slamming sister that not taking no prisoner. You know, her character is very good, and I hope they can continue the show if they decide to continue it. But in the story behind it is very good. You know, they keep going back and forth and twisting, but I understand what they're doing. You know, they're giving you the history of what happened, and they're showing you how it is today.
You're talking about The Watchmen, right? Right.
Watchmen,
yeah. I've watched maybe 2 episodes, and just for people to know that there was a movie that came out 10 years ago called The Watchmen. It was based upon these Gothic comic books, Gothic novels, similar title, and basically it's like an alternative universe where there are real life superheroes in the whole 9 yards. So just so people know.
But, you know, the first 2 episodes were pretty good. And I like Don Johnson that's played in Miami Vice. His character in The Watchmen was very good. You know, I always follow Don Johnson because no matter what role he plays, he always really gets into the character. But they killed him off a little early. I was disappointed about that. But they brought him back in maybe an episode 2 down the line. They kind of brought him back because it was flashbacks. But she was disappointed. I don't want to, for people that haven't watched it, you know, you really have to take the time and look at it because there's a lot of flashback characters. And the old man, I always forget his name, that played in the slavery movie. The guy in the wheelchair, you know, I won't tip people off, but you have to watch it to really have an understanding on how it.
It sounds like your volume just went down for whatever reason.
How's that? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Just the volume just seemed like it was going down. I don't know why.
I'm sitting in the same spot. I haven't moved since
Yeah. I'm not saying that it's you per se, John. Could be my end. I'm not sure. Anybody else having that issue? I'll throw it out there. But go ahead and continue.
But your diatribes of giving us the history behind Tulsa, Oklahoma, or some people call it Black Wall Street, is very good and right on the mark. And HBO's show The Watchmen is very good for people that haven't watched it. I think they should take the time to really look at it. Okay, let's get into this factless countdown of the impeachment last night with Nancy Pelosi with that big hammer slamming down, giving the total count of who voted for and who voted against. Well, okay, we already know, even before she hit that hammer and the slammer down, that the Democrats are going to get behind it. A couple of defections on people on the Democrat side that wasn't going to be for or against. Who was that one person that said nay, or they was there, but they didn't vote either way? I forgot that congresswoman, or whoever that was.
Her name was Tulsi Gabbard. She didn't say nay. She said here, as if it was an attendance count.
What does that mean here?
It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. Like she didn't do her duty, quite honestly. I mean, really, her duty is to make a fucking decision. Just make a decision, yay or nay. But she's talking about some here. What is this? Homeroom?
I guess she didn't want to. Now I don't know what state is she a part of.
Yeah, Hawaii.
Hawaii. So possibly Trump might have took all those votes from Clinton during that time, and she don't want to piss off her constituents in that area. So she showed up, but she just said, here. Are you kidding me? Here? So I guess the Democrats are pissed off at her and any other ones that wanted to defect or switch over to the other side. I see what I often say many times. You can't tell the difference between a Democrat and a Republican. Another day and another time. But now the stage or the circus just continues, because now it's eventually going to shift over to those rascally, sneaking, dirty Republicans that we already know they're going to vote not to impeach. And, okay, I understand what Nancy Pelosi is going, where she's going through with this and how she's trying to twist and turn and navigate this whole thing. It's going to come down to the voters next year. Okay, I know where you're going to go with this, Mr. Nathan Ivey. It's going to come down to the voters. But let's not forget, as we talked about earlier this week, they're already, rascally Republicans are already planning on deleting a lot of votes in several states. They started with Georgia last week and several other states. I think you mentioned Ohio, too. It's a lot of states. This is nothing new. This happened in 2016, happened in 2018. And once again, nobody's talking about the hacking. So the foolishness that happened in 2016 and 2018 is going to happen again. So maybe John from Princeton, a.k.a. K. Zorro, may have to switch uniforms to the Watchmen. Yes, they won't know who I am when I put that mask on, but maybe some of these people have to be brought to task. So any Watchmen out there that want to join my alliance and wear that mask, it's time to hold people accountable. That's what it's all about.
Well, how about we just vote? How about we just block vote? That won't work.
Well, maybe the Watchmen should show up at every poll across the country with their mask on and have their hammer or their gun in their hand, or legally make sure you got your permit license in your hand, and make sure people are voting and casting their votes, if you choose to want to do that, and hold the system accountable, as well as the Watchmen should keep an eye on that stinking pollsters that brainwash us, as well as the hacking of your votes that will happen. So, maybe the Watchmen should come out of HBO and parade across the country and say to the Republicans and Democrats, we are watching you. We're watching you very closely, and maybe it's time for the Watchmen to hold people accountable. Have a nice day.
Thank you for the call. Unrack them. Tracy writes, how do you monetize a business without a salesperson? Real question. You learn how to do sales. That's the point I was trying to make. The point I was making is that wasn't my natural talent. You got to learn. It's like Damon John said. Damon John wrote a book, that is in a very prominent place in my personal library. And he said that entrepreneurs have to learn the power of broke. And I have learned that he is absolutely true. What does that mean? That means you have to learn how to do everything yourself. It makes you stronger. I mean, learning more skills is learning more skills. That's what you have to do to get where you're trying to get to. Shout out to Damon John. Viva la Damon John. Let me see here. Let me see. Jared Rice, hashtag team and I. Good morning to you. Cam Rice, keep raking in those advertising dollars, Nate. Tracy writes, he told John to call back. I did. I did not know that Mr. Winburn was going to call in, though. That kind of happened perfectly. Carla writes, John, GTFOH. I mean, John's talking about... John's talking about he's going to give up Zorro, and now he's going to be the Regina King character from The Watchmen, if I can get it out. I got mush mouth this morning. And that is hilarious, John. But I'm like, John, why don't we just vote? We ain't got to dress up like the Watchmen and dress up like Rorschach and all these different characters and Dr. Whoever, Dr. Manhattan. Let's just block vote. How about we try that first before we dress up as fictional characters? Oh, man. Tracy Reyes, you said I'm not a salesperson. I don't have one. Well, I actually do have a salesperson. What I said was, I'm not a salesperson. So the point I was trying to make, as I said earlier, is going back to what Damon John said. You got to learn how to do things yourself. You got to put it together. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn how to do whatever it takes. TNT writes, we are Cyber Wakanda, damn it. I don't know what John is talking about. I guess he's going to lead some kind of revolution. I don't know why we don't just vote. It seems very easier than what he's trying to do, but, I mean, at least he wants to do something, I guess. Black Russia writes, no thanks, John. I'm cool. He's not going to take him up on that. Oh, man. Mason Marler writes, is John talking in third person? What the? Yeah, that's not the first time John talked in third person. Where you been? That's nothing for John. John don't care. John is bigger than all of this, man. John is one of the smartest people in Cincinnati. In the country. In the country. Dude, are anybody interested in any audio clips of the impeachment? I'm not trying to throw water on anything. I know
President Trump has been impeached tonight, making him just
PBS.
the third
Check
president in history to receive that rebuke. Tonight, the House of Representatives approved 2 charges brought by the Democrats: abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. The near party line tallies followed a day of long debate. Our coverage begins with congressional correspondent Lisa Desjardins telling us about how this momentous day unfolded.
I'm not going to bore you with a whole lot of this.
The House will be in order.
Perhaps it was the specter of history.
Today marks a sad day for America.
Or the high stakes involved.
This president, elected by the American people, has violated his oath of office and violated the rule of law.
Our president is, as we speak, abusing his power and placing himself above the law.
Or perhaps a sense that the die was already cast.
Since Donald Trump was elected in 2016, Democrats have been on a crusade to stop him by any means.
In the House chamber today, weeks of fiery words over hypothetical
Isn't that what the
impeachment
Republicans did to Obama?
Somber and serious when lawmakers faced the reality.
I solemnly and sadly open the debate on the impeachment of the President of the United States.
Speaker Nancy Pelosi wore a large brooch of the House mace, a symbol of the power of the Speaker of the House, as she charged that the president has undermined his office.
If we do not act now, we would be derelict in our duty. It is tragic that the president's reckless actions make impeachment necessary. He gave us no choice.
Democrats laid out their argument that President Trump abused his power, using his office to pressure Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky into opening investigations that would help Mr. Trump politically. Jim McGovern of Massachusetts.
Our inquiry is simply to answer the following question. Did President Trump and his top advisors corruptly withhold official government actions to obtain an improper advantage in the next election? We now know through the hard work of our investigative committees and because of the president's own admission that the answer to that question is yes.
And Pramila Jayapal of Washington State.
The president told us himself on national television exactly what he wanted from the phone call with President Zelensky. He came onto the White House lawn and he said, I wanted President Zelensky to open an investigation into the Bidens. He solicited foreign interference before. He is doing it now, and he will do it again. The president is the smoking gun.
But Republicans portrayed President Trump as the victim here, offering several counter-arguments. First, assailing Democrats' evidence as incomplete. Tom Cole of Oklahoma.
My colleagues in the majority believe they have proven their case. Let me be clear, they have not. The entire premise of these articles of impeachment rests on a pause placed on Ukrainian security assistance, a pause of 55 days. The majority has spun creative narratives as to the meaning and the motive of this pause, alleging the president demanded a, quote, quid pro quo, unquote, but with no factual evidence to back it up.
Argument 2 from Republicans, that Speaker Pelosi and House Democrats are motivated by politics, not principle. Utah's Chris Stewart.
This vote, this day, is about one thing and one thing only. They hate this president. They hate those of us who voted for him. They think we're stupid. They think we made a mistake. They think Hillary Clinton should be the president, and they want to fix that. That's what this vote is about. They want to take
right after this take, you had...
And Florida's Ross Spano.
But the American people... You had the Republican committee chair that had to correct that the Democrat committee chair had to correct that Republican congressman. If Donald Trump is impeached, Hillary Clinton does not become president. Somebody needs to tell him about government. He needs to sit down with Joe Dieters. I mean, what the hell? That's not how it works. If Donald Trump is impeached, Mike Pence becomes president. Where's Mike Pence? Where is Mike Pence right now at a time like this? Somewhere licking it like, ha ha ha, we almost got it. So I can bring my brand of terror to the world. Which is worse, Trump or Pence? You tell me. Like I said, I'm not going to hit you with all of that. It's like a 6-minute clip. We've heard enough. You got cable news. You got a cell phone. One more reason why people should vote against Republican Joe Dieters. Black Russia writes to self-proclaimed. It was self-proclaimed. Wendell Young said, hallelujah, we're the new Gang of Five. No one called them the Gang of Five but themselves. Well, that's true, and it's not true at the same time, Black Russia. You're right. Wendell Young did say that in a text message, but he was the only person that said that. You go back and get those text messages and you show me where any of those other 4 individuals referred to themselves as the Gang of Five. That's not what happened. What happened is he said that, and then people like your boy, Christopher Smitherman primarily, and Brian Shrive and others, they started running with it and branding it. And then they got some of their friends in the media to start running with it and branding it. And the reason why it works is because it's such a great brand. Gang of Five. Gang of Five. Damn, what they do? What kind of gang is this? I mean, the word gang has been burned into our brains as being evil and bad because of black gangs. But the reality is like I said, it kind of sells himself. You put Gang of Five at the top of a headline, to certain people, that's going to turn them on. Like, oh, I got to see what happened. You know what I'm saying? CG Dub writes, you better answer your mother's call, Nate. I was about to. Has she called back, I was going to answer it live on the air and go to music. You ain't got to tell me. I already know what's important. Trust me. Damn it. No bueno. Hold on 1 second, choppers. Matter of fact, let me do this. Let me go into a break, and then we'll come back. How about that? All right? Somebody's calling me right now. Not sure who that is. Hold on. Let me take this phone call real quick before we go into the break. Got somebody giving us a call. You took the time. I'll take the time. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show. Hello. Good morning. Call me back. Oh, they didn't want to get on the air. How could you call that number? You don't want to get on the air? I don't get it. Anyway, Again, and perhaps that was an error, 513-873-7134, or perhaps for whatever reason you really couldn't hear me. It's all good. Just give me a call back, and I'll try to put you on. Real simple. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, live, local, and vocal. Currently 9:46 a.m. in the Queen City, and we'll be right back.
I am Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. I am pleased to announce the free Train the Trainer Masterclass coming to Cincinnati on Thursday, December the 19th, sponsored by Walker Funeral Home and Lamar. The Masterclass will train people just like you, as well as parents, teachers, physicians, youth workers, nurses, and mentors on how to develop better skills to save our kids from pipeline to prison, bullying, reduce gun violence, homicides, suicides, domestic violence, and drug abuse. The Train the Trainer Masterclass, 5 p.m. doors open with a business connection. 6 to 7 p.m. free dinner reception. 7 p.m. Train the Trainer Masterclass. Free Comfsy lotion for everyone. Renew Community Church, 2129 West North Bend Road in College Hill. Register at the door December the 19th or sign up for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass at SundayConnectCircle.org. That's SundayConnectCircle.org. Get your free Train the Trainer Masterclass flyer in the Cincinnati Herald. I am Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. Are you struggling with something right now in your life that no matter how hard you work on that struggle, it just never seems to go away? A health challenge, a mental challenge, a financial or relationship struggle. Did you know that 100% of your current struggles are due to what negatively happened to you from birth to 7 years of age? Did you know that there is something that you could do about this struggle? Let us help you rewrite your life, along with 200 other leaders that I plan to train in this life-changing masterclass. Sign up today for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass, being held on Thursday, December the 19th at Renew Community Church. Food and refreshments will be served. Go to SundayConnectCircle.org and sign up for free. That's SundayConnectCircle.org and sign up for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass.
Hey everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. I opened a 401k.
So you're giving up? Just like that?
Giving up on what?
On getting an inheritance from a distant relative.
Don't you think if there were a billionaire in the family, we'd know about it by now?
Listen to me. We are one phone call away from riding horses on our own private polo grounds. One call from christening yachts, having a butler, using summer as a verb.
How do you figure?
Look, everyone's got a rich uncle somewhere. It's statistics. So the best thing you can do is just prepare for the inevitable.
Right, which is why I thought maybe it would be smart to take control of my finances. Start using a budget, get out of debt, set some retirement goals.
Budgets? Debt? You watch your mouth. Retirement shouldn't be a goal for us. It should be a way of life.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Nate Ivey in the air chair, live, local, and vocal. From a not-so-secret location here in the Cincinnati area. I guess you call it the Nathan Ivey Bat Cave. It's not really a cave, though. Good morning. Angela writes, I believe Wendell Young deemed them Gang of Five, which works. which works, makes it a self-proclaimed moniker. Yeah and no, you're right. He did. But the point I was trying to make is that was Wendell Young. I mean, I haven't read anything where anybody else referred to themselves as the Gang of Five. So Wendell Young said, I said this earlier, Wendell Young said it, and then I guess the Democrat Republicans, Smitherman's boys, whoever, start running with it. Like, oh, shit, we got something. And it works, primarily because Wendell said it first. And then it makes such an attractive, and it's great clickbait as a headline. Like, what's that mean, gang of what? What are they doing? But if you ask most people about it, I think they would tell you they probably don't know. Now, this audience is different. You know, we broke it all down and talked about it and went through every damn letter of it. We went back and forth. Amira Fame has some strong opinions about it. It's quite interesting. So it looks like it's coming back. Some of that drama's coming back for 2020. See. Mason Ronald writes, I dance for Joe Dieters. Terrence writes, good morning, everyone. Hey, good to see you, Terrence. Is $700 million enough for upgrades and future upkeep of the voting equipment and software? Not another Caitlyn Jenner production. Oh, yeah, they're coming back. LOL, Trump just tweeted, still beat, though. Karamir writes, the Gang of Five was too powerful as a unit. Flu Magic writes, Tamaya talks too tough for these white folks. They call her uppity nigwa beach when they get in their cars. Uppity nigwa beach? What? TNT's in the house. She writes, good morning. Hey, good to see you, TNT. Appreciate all your energy and effort. Karamir writes, they violated the rules. Nothing to do with being powerful. Conduct public business in public. Inquire word about it too, as well as WCPO. It's a legit issue. You mean the same transparency that he lacks when there is a questionable police-involved shooting and he withholds a body camera? Touche. Sustained, TNT, right. Like that transparency, schmarency, that's what people use when it's like their political opponents and stuff like that. Like I said, if Obama had did what Trump did, the Democrats wouldn't make a big deal about it. I mean, as a unit, as a party. You may have a few here and there that will say something and break ranks and perhaps, whatever that means, right, for their future political, endeavors. But that's just the way it goes. That's the way it goes. Mike Jones writes, good morning, Choppers. How many black people in Congress are Republican? I'll wait. Terrence writes, William Hurd from Texas and Tim Scott, South Carolina. Damn. CJ writes, the HBO series is called The Watchmen. Thank you, CJ. Terrence writes, Will Hurd had already announced that he's retiring, so that will reduce the number by 1 pending the next election cycle. TNT writes, Joe Dieters wants transparency when he and Judge Hinkin conspired to ICE Citizens Complaint Board, our independent board for transparency, dismantled by the prosecutor who wants transparency. GTFOH. Touche. Sustained. 2 for 2. 2 for 2. Yeah, she's right about that. Karamir writes, Tulsa wasn't the only place Caucasoids killed us by the mass. And Karamir, that's my point. My point is we keep talking about Tulsa. But the Red Scare the Red 1990, the Red Hot Summer of 1919, and how many other, if it wasn't as big as Tulsa, how many other massacres happened? Like when black people hit the streets now, white folks want to act, oh my God, they're in the streets? Is it going to be a riot? Man, you go back to the turn of the century, it was them in the streets rioting with guns. Mad at black progress. Mad because these black people had the nerve to separate themselves and be successful. Whoa, we got to stop this. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this kind of stuff should be covered by every high school in America. Like there should be it just goes to the mass miseducation of American students. It's not just black people. White people have been miseducated by public education because it leaves a lot out. Like right now, my daughter goes to a school that everybody says is like the number one school in Ohio, right? And she's learning about Napoleon. And the Industrial Revolution from the European standpoint. Just like we did. They ain't learning shit about Tulsa. They're not talking about that. When they get to 1920, they'll be talking about the World War I, right? They'll be talking about World War I. They won't be talking about the mass genocide, the racism that was perpetrated on non-white people in this country. And then when you look at neighborhoods where there's a lot of black people want to just blame the black people. They want to, oh, you just lazy. Your wealth was stolen from you. Your legacy was stolen from you. Right in your face. How many other Black Wall Streets were destroyed across this country? Probably all of them. There's probably dozens upon dozens upon dozens. Like I said, there's a really interesting book that I would recommend for you. Highly recommend for you. If you're the kind of person that likes that kind of history, and it's called The Black History of the White House. Came out about 5-6 years ago. It is well worth your time. It is worth it. And it will open your eyes to a lot of history that never really know. It's impolite. Nobody wants to talk about what happened and what went down. There's a lot of untold stories. That's why I look at Harriet like, fuck Harriet. I don't want to see no damn Harriet Tubman movie. I want to hear something. I want to hear about some. I got Harriet Tubman. We know what happened. Yada, yada, yada. We got it. She should not be on a $20 bill, by the way. That'd be disrespectful to Harriet Tubman and all of her work. I want to hear about some recent stuff that I don't know about. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to hear. Clue Magic writes, Drop, you sound silly. The ridiculous Republicans went after the president for lying about an affair that he had on his wife while in office. The Cheeto was impeached for committing actual crimes against America. Which is worse, ? Lying about an extramarital affair or lying about asking a foreign power for help investigating a rival and refusing to offer aid if they don't. I saw it was a Sunday morning conversation. It was with George Stephanopoulos, and I was hoping to see Yvette Simpson, but she wasn't a part of it. It was kind of like the show after the show. It was just 2 days ago. And that question came up. It's like the Republicans are running around like, oh, this isn't a good enough reason to impeach somebody. Y'all impeached Bill Clinton because he lied about having an extramarital affair. So if you can impeach a man for lying about having an extramarital affair, then you can impeach a president for lying, just as Clue Magic said, for trying to bully the Ukraine and use the power of the presidency that the people gave him for his own personal gain. You know what I'm saying? Seems bad to me, but we make excuses for the people that we want to make excuses for. People that we like, we make excuses for. People that we don't like, we ain't got no excuses for. You are an adult. Let me see here. Blue Magic writes, the ridiculous Republicans were upset they couldn't impeach Obama over his tan suit. The biased Republican media talked it up like Obama told a foreign power, help, get me dirt on my opponent or else. Let me see here. Terrence Rice had to chop it down and get ready for this race, but the Bears game is still tight. But the Beard game is still tight. Okay. Mason Muller writes, symbolism is when you have no action. Love it. Add that to the Chop Shop lexicon. Let's see. Caramia's talking about a massacre that happened in Florida. I don't doubt it. It's just so impolite. America doesn't want to talk about it. TNT writes, a lot of other black voters bought into the lie that white America would never vote for another black man, and they are not ready for a woman. So like a dog with his tail tucked between his legs, they concede to support a bunch of old white farts. Hashtag malarkey. Yeah, I know I had to turn up Charlie. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. So he's got John's phone. He's got John's phone. That's hilarious. He's embarrassed the hell out of his wife at his campaign kickoff. He was good all the way up to where he started talking about doing it. Was that Charlie? Yeah, somebody else said that. That's hilarious. Did he? That is hilarious. I was supposed to be there, but I was super under the weather, man. Bedridden. Jesse writes, LOL, Tracy. Tracy writes, shaking my head, Ray. I will never forget him bribing folks at celebrities, as they spell it, with wings. Tracy writes, right, Clue, we just got to get some meat on her bones, FOH. That is hilarious. What do the polls say? Only 48% of the Democrats say they will vote for any Democrat versus Trump. That's it. It's the economy, stupid. I don't know what polls you're looking at. Let's see. Somebody says, rub some come see lotion on it. Tracy writes, we still do manuals? Let me stop. That is, y'all, you know what? Ben Carson is about to exit stage left, 12:31, right? Let's see here, more and more. John just got his phone back from Winburn. Nathan will be there with the tape in hand. I'm not sure what tape that is. Clue Magic writes, Tulsi Gabbard's here is equivalent to your Zorro, John. Great point. Great point. Great point. TNT writes, was that the one running for president, Tulsi Gabbard? Yes. Tulsi said that she said president, her indecisiveness had no bearing on the vote. Well, it may have a bearing on whether she's elected or not, and it may have a bearing on how far that she goes in this whole Democratic nomination process. But ultimately, yeah, I mean, you could say that for a lot of votes. I mean, we already know what happened here. The Democrats, Nancy Pelosi was not going to bring articles of impeachment and then get embarrassed if the Democrats didn't go for it. So we knew that was going to happen. And Mitch McConnell and his minions are already setting the stage right now. They're coordinating with the White House on the defense for Trump. They're supposed to be impartial jurists, but yet they're coordinating with the White House. So I think if we're going to be fair about this, then we got to look at it from a mature standpoint. And from a mature standpoint, I'll say this again. If I'm a Republican senator, why would I vote against Trump? He's the leader of our party. Why would I shoot myself in the foot like that? It doesn't make any sense. So I don't think that's what we're likely to see. I think what we're likely to see is something just like Bill Clinton. I mean, technically, Trump has been impeached, but it doesn't mean he's going to be removed from office. I think if people have a problem with Trump, then rally your friends and family members for 2020. Make sure everybody is registered who you think is actually going to vote, and then vote whatever your conscience is. If your conscience is to vote against Trump, great, vote against Trump. Okay? For black people, I think the most intelligent thing would be to approach 2020 as we should every election, and that is who has the best deal for us? Who's better for us individually? Okay? And I think that's what people are going to do. But Trump is not going to be removed from office. The Mitch McConnell is brutally efficient. You may not like Mitch McConnell, but he is brutally efficient. And from what I'm reading, they're going to try to expedite this as quickly as possible, probably try to get it over with by the summer, by the spring. The Democrats want to draw it out as long as possible because they view this as negative press for the president. I don't know. We can't foresee what we don't know. Anything could happen between now and tomorrow or the end of the year. But I think the most intelligent, based upon what we've seen, opinion is that Trump is not going to be removed from office. And then the voters are going to have to shift through all of this next year to try to figure out how important is this. You know, that's what I think is going to happen. What do you think? 513-873-7134. What do you think? D. Grace from South Central writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. X-Squad affiliate, squad up. Good morning to you. Jimmy writes, the USDA named Wakanda as a country suitable to trade with. I kid you not. Really? That is hilarious. Is that right? Why? Is there really a Wakanda out there somewhere? It may not be like, in the movie or anything, but let me recap what we've discussed this morning. We've talked about Council Member Jeff Pastor proposing renaming McMicken Avenue. Charles McMicken was a slave owner, and now the University of Cincinnati, where I graduated from, is now changing the name of the Arts and Sciences program and building. It used to be McMicken Hall. They're going to change it to something else. And Jeff Pastor says if you're going to do that, then the city of Cincinnati needs to seriously think about what they need to do to kind of follow up on that. But what do you think? Cincinnati's poverty rate is still higher than the rest of the country. Cincinnati and Hamilton County still have a much higher rate of child poverty than the U.S. as a whole. The latest American Community Survey estimates more than 40% of children in the city of Cincinnati, more than 26,000 kids, live below the federal poverty level. So as much as we want to celebrate, as much as we want to clap ourselves on the back about all the new buildings and all the new development, how are we successful when 40% of the children that live in Cincinnati are living around below the poverty level? If you included children that are anywhere near the poverty level, what would those numbers be? 60%? So if you look at things from a kid-centric viewpoint, which as a parent you train yourself to do, one of the biggest things about becoming a parent is changing your viewpoint. You go from an adult viewpoint to a kid-centric viewpoint. That's if you're a good parent. If you're a bad parent, you're still running around here thinking you're an adult. You are not. You're a parent. Most parents are adults, or they will be at some point. But not all adults are parents. There's a difference. As an adult, you can wake up, go to the movie anytime you want to. As a parent, you can't do that. And sometimes you'll see adults that are struggling with this. They're now parents, and they can't give up their adult life in perspective. Now, I'll give you one example. Have you ever gone to a movie theater and it's a brand new movie? Maybe it might have been Black Panther, and somebody's in there with a newborn crying. I'm talking about a newborn baby. Raise your hand if that's ever happened before. That's a great example of a parent who thinks they're an adult. You're not. You can't do what the rest of the adults do because you're a parent now. Man, I went to a bar in Walnut Hills. Not only did they allow dogs in the bar, which was a complete turnoff, but it was a motherfucker in there with a baby. She had a baby and she drinking beer with the baby. I'm like, what? Can we have any sacred places just where adults are? No dogs, no children. Who wants to party? You got your dog right there. What the hell is this, the Old Town Saloon? No. But anyway, Hamilton County's child poverty rate is nearly 24%, encompassing 44,000 kids below the age of 18. Now, what percentage of the kids who are living below the poverty line are Black, are African American, are non-white? And again, the federal guidelines are all wacky. Like, my opinion is if you're anywhere near the poverty line, you are in poverty. The federal government has these, these rubrics and these guidelines, but they're all wacky. You know what I'm saying? They don't really measure the real world. They really don't. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is there's more people who are poor than what the government says is poor. You have working poor people out there. They work every single day, but they are poor. But every measure that really matters, every measure. This should be one of the number one issues. This should be one of the number one issues in our upcoming races, but it won't be. It'll be discussed. There'll be questions. It'll come up here or there, and I've seen it before. But will it have an impact on who takes office? It should. I mean, what impact will this have on upcoming city council races? Everybody's going to say the same thing. They're going to say the right thing. But is anything really going to be done? It's a damn shame. Cincinnati has so much money. And here's what I mean by kid-centric view. Number one, Cincinnati has so much money. There are so many wealthy people that live in Cincinnati. You wouldn't believe it. You might be living next door to a multimillionaire and you won't even know it. There's a lot of $100,000 that live in Hamilton County and Cincinnati. There's a lot of millionaires that live in Hamilton County and Cincinnati. So here's what I say. Everybody said, this is going to be such a great project, FC Cincinnati. It's worth $500 million right now. They're going to be opening the stadium and for the 2021, I think 2021 or 2022. No, 2021 season, okay? How does that project or any of these future developments impact, the poverty line or the number of people who are impoverished? Is that too much of a statement? Is that too big of a gap to even kind of put that on developers? I don't know. But what I see in Cincinnati is the rich get rich and the poor stay where they are. I've been seeing too much of that. Climatic writes, well, Nate, those bars are designed with the counterpart in mind, not us. And drinking with the babies and the dogs is what they do. I just hope esoteric has a different culture to it. Yeah, but I hope we get more than just esoteric. We need more than just one black-owned brewery. I'm not really a beer guy, but I'm going to go. I'm going to go, hang out, and spend a little money. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Oh, hell, Nathan, watch it. Those far knowledgeable than you will drop down the gauntlet. I'm sure they will. Ray writes at Black, actually, he does. If he's saying he's better candidate for the community, he's fair and impartial, blah, blah, blah. So if folks vote for him for that reason, his lying self should do that and not redirect for the benefit of others. Rather you vote or not. Do what you say. I agree. Let's see here. CG Doug writes, so I miss John, and she writes, windbags call, hashtag God is good. Mason Mahler writes, here's the truth. In response, Green invoked America's original sin. I believe that the American people understand that this is something that we must do at this point. You talking about Congressman Al Green? Green said, quote, I also think that if we don't include some of the things that are important to people of color, then I think that our business won't be finished with. I do believe, ma'am, that we have to deal with the original sin. We have to deal with slavery. Slavery was the thing that put all of what President Trump has done lately into motion. It's insidious. Racism. The president has played on racism, and he used it as a weapon to galvanize a base of support to mobilize people. Yes, he did. He did it very effectively. It worked for him like a charm. Hey, I see Cerinthia's in the house. What's going on, Corinthia? How are you? I know you recently had a loss in the family. Prayers and condolences to you. Absolutely. Then I know you had a child that went to surgery. Hope everything turned out okay. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here. Black Russia writes, Dieters is having a 2 p.m. press conference about self-proclaiming Gang of Five. Really? I may try to be there. Where is it at? He says about 2 p.m. today? I might be able to squeeze that in. I just might. I get it. I mean, this is Dieters playing out the whole political thing. And, that's what he's got to do. That's what he's got to do. But in terms of me as a citizen, I'm just wondering what the overall impact of it really is. You know what I'm saying? How important is this really? And to me, I don't really think it's that important. Because the people I talked to, it was kind of like, if they liked Tamaya Denard beforehand, they still like Tamaya Denard. And if they didn't like Tamaya Denard beforehand, they don't like Tamaya Denard. If they liked PG Sittenfield beforehand, they still rolling with him. If they didn't like PG Sittenfield beforehand, they ain't rolling with him. Greg Landsman, from what I've been hearing, if people rolled with him and liked him previous to this thing with the text messages, they still rolling with him. And if they didn't like him beforehand, they ain't rolling with him. It seems very polarized to me. So what would be the point of all of this? Well, I mean, one point would be that Greg Landsman and Tamaya Denard are eligible to run for re-election. You got Greg Landsman out here challenging property owners and renters, offering up ideas that they say might cost them more money. They don't like that. With Tamaya Denard, here she is challenging development, challenging the appointment of challenging the way things are always been done. Hell, there was a hit piece about Tamaya Denard before she even got elected in local media, talking about back taxes that she had already taken care of. And with P.G. Sittenfield, the rumor is he's running for mayor. So what better way to try to deal with a potential political rival than before he actually becomes a political rival? Trying to put some dirt out there. That's how I see it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. And Wendell Young has been a pain in the ass for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? I know people are still sour over what he said to one of the Mack twins when the brother was up for a possible appointment to the Metro Sorter Board. Hey, I'll never forget. It was hilarious. So I'm sure there's a lot of hostilities and hurt feelings and a whole lot of issues. And the thing about it is you got these elections coming up right around the corner. Before you know it, we'll be voting on city council. Before you know it, people will be announcing and we'll be talking about this. Before you know it. That's one way of looking at it. Now, I say all that, and I'll say 100% that this was a 100% self-inflicted wound, and the members of city council involved should have thought twice about it, because even though I think the rules are archaic as a citizen, those are the rules. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And, okay, this is, let me see what other news articles, news outlets are carrying this. So Joe Dieters, you're going to have a big old press conference. So that's great. That is just great. Okay, here's the SLC. It's up here as well. Auditor recommends prosecution of 5 city council members in texting case. And I'm going to tell you, there are people out there that would love nothing more. They would love nothing more for Wendell Young to be charged. They would love nothing more for Greg Landsman to be charged. They would love nothing more for P.G. Sittenfield to get charged. They would love nothing more for Chris Silbach to be charged. They would love nothing more for Tamaya Denard to be charged. That would make their day. That would make their day. And if that's what happens, that's what happens. But from my perspective, man, we'll see. We'll see. That'll be provocative. A lot of people will be talking about that throughout the rest of the day. It's getting above the headlines treatment on all of the local news organizations. You know, conservative radio will be talking about it this morning, 100%. You know that. All right. Before we leave this morning, I want to remind you that the Cincinnati Police Department has open registration. I'm going to provide a link for you where you can get more information and also register for that particular career and that particular position. And if you live in the city of Cincinnati and you've ever thought about law enforcement, I would ask you to strongly consider it, because we need good people from the Cincinnati area. To be candid, as an African American, we need diversity on our police force for people to represent us in these very, very critical positions. These are leadership positions within our community. And the way it is right now, you don't have to live in Hamilton County. You have to live in an adjacent county. So I don't want to scare anybody off. I mean, if you live in Hamilton County or an adjacent county, you are eligible. But I'm just putting it in a specific appeal for people who live in the Cincinnati area, right? I just think that's important. I think that when you come from a neighborhood, when you police that neighborhood, maybe you're going to look at people differently. You're going to look at the situation differently because it's your home. That's just me. So I've posted a link for you. If you've got any questions, perhaps hit me with a direct message. If you feel more comfortable, you can put in the chop shop. I'll try my best. I don't have a lot of knowledge. And if there's something beyond me, I'll move it along and see if I can get you a prompt answer. But the link I provided from you for my friends at the Voice of Black Cincinnati is pretty comprehensive. It does a pretty good job of giving you all of the basic information, and really even beyond basic information, that you'll need to be as prepared as possible if you decide to embark in a career in law enforcement with the Cincinnati Police Department. So please consider it if it's something that you're inclined to do. And also please share if you know someone, friend or family, who you think, because if they've spoken about it or there's something about their background and you think they make a good recruit. And the Cincinnati Police Department is looking for college-educated recruits. They're looking for recruits that speak multiple languages as we diversify here in Cincinnati. We have growing different populations that may not speak English, or they may have a very close second language. So all those skills will be very, very valued. Data management, also social media experience as the department moves into the 21st century like everybody else. So please follow the link, share the link if you feel inclined to do so. Hold on, I'm getting a call here. What is this? Wow. Oh, okay, I get it. That's the wifey calling me. Listen, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. I wanted to leave that information with you before we roll out. Tonight is the Train the Trainer event over at Renew Community Church. If you're not already registered, as you heard from Mr. Winburn himself, they do have a room available for you, and perhaps you can be a part of this. All right? Love to see you. All right? Have an excellent Thursday, and we'll catch up tomorrow morning, bright and early, the 8 a.m. with the Nathan Ivey Show. And then what are you doing tomorrow afternoon about 12:30 p.m.? Make sure you check out the Is It Just Me podcast with Donnie B. She'll be talking with the creator of the Trayvon Martin documentary and also documentary, and I believe it's a book as well. And you can check it out for yourself. All right. Should be a very, very interesting conversation. The Trayvon Martin hoax? What? What is that all about? Check it out. That'll be tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Between now and then, I'll be with you again at 8 a.m. And you never know, it's the world of the digital media. I may go live at any point. Have an excellent day, and we'll talk real soon. I'm Nathan Ivey, and I'm out.